Hi, you're here with Simon at English Coach, and today I'm going to be talking to you directly about powerful relationships and how you can live a powerful relationship. Now, when I say a powerful relationship, I mean the powerful relationship within your life. So, whether it be with your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or whatever it is that is romantically based in your life, but also connected to your lifestyle so that person is more than just a friend, but more than just a romance as well. So there could be anything to sharing a house, sharing a business, this kind of thing. As most people are aware of today, relationships are really hard to maintain. And I'm going to basically break down um, in 6 points the most relevant ways in which you can maintain a powerful relationship. What I want to give you today by the end of this YouTube session is 6 points which make you reflect a lot, maybe even reflect deeply about the other person's behavior and your own behavior. Start to see spaces or opportunities in your routine, in your day, in your week where you can actually do something differently. And for some of the things, perhaps apply directly the ideas that I propose to you today. Okay, so the first point is maintaining connections and commonalities. So, maintaining connections and commonalities is so important. The more connections you have with the person, the more you have in common with the person, the more you will have the sense of sharing that time, that knowledge, and that experience with each other. The more you will feel that you are joined to that person. So, if you feel that these are lacking, it is a great idea to build some of these. It is a great idea to connect parts of your life with parts of that person that you love, and maybe that those connections become stronger through your building them and initiating them. Number two, listening without judgment. Often there will be times when you have to hear complaining, times when the person will provoke you outright, stop you in your tracks and say that you're doing something wrong. Our first reaction that everyone has is to defend ourselves and then counterattack. And like, let's look at this. It's a relationship. We're supposed to be promoting love, and our first instinct is to defend and attack. Think about that while I take a sip of my coffee. If our purpose is to love, it's not a great idea to defend and attack. Now, your instinct here could be, but they say such terrible things. How can I ever tolerate that without defending myself and pointing out another negative point in the other person? Well, we could talk about this all day, but basically, listening without judgment will improve you as a person and will improve your ability to communicate. If you want to continue arguing and creating conflict in your relationship, you're welcome to do so. But what I'm suggesting for you today to do directly is to internalize this idea that, of course, the person is going to come with complaints. Of course, the person is going to attack me at some point in my relationship. And maybe now is a great time for me to feel that attack without saying anything, without reacting, without defending myself. Um, some people can do this naturally, but they end up building up those negative feelings and spewing them back to the other person after a certain amount of time. So it's also not a good idea. So going to the third point, which is connected here, I think, which is choosing an opportune time or a great time to be able to deal with those complaints. So, if it's something you need to work on, if the person came to you and they said some really terrible things, and you listened and you didn't judge, but you could see that there was something kind of wrong with what they were saying and how they were saying it. Well, you don't just want to ignore that. Uh, you want to be able to register that, but look at their intention, look at what they're trying to do, look at where you are wrong first without trying to defend yourself. And the third point here is choose another time to talk about what they did wrong. Choose another time to sit down and politely approach the subject and say, hey, listen, the other day you mentioned this, or you said this to me in this way. I'd like to talk about how you were communicating with me and what you were saying and how you were deciding to speak to me. This kind of assertive communication can have a lot of benefits. Also, giving subjects a little bit of time before you bring them up is thinking slowly on it, which means without reaction, without intuition, and without those impulses that can often make matters worse. So there are benefits to doing that. Do create a dialogue. Don't think that you're being a hero by not inviting the person to sit down with you and talk about what has hurt you, what the person has done to hurt you, but not in a blaming way, but in a way that allows you both to solve the problem together, So yeah, that's also not so easy, but it's really important. Remember that this is about powerful relationships. So it does take sacrifice in terms of feeling like you lost the argument, feeling like you lost your pride or your power. It's all an illusion. It is an illusion, and the person can say whatever they like, but basically at the end of the day, it's an illusion. Number 4, you may just be strengthening the future for you and the family with that person. So if you're able to follow some of these steps, and if you're able to give up your pride and ego in these argumentative situations, often you will be able to use this as a sound or solid foundation to create a family. That's actually quite incredible, because a lot of people have a family whether they have a good relationship or not, or having children is not dependent on the quality of the relationship. So the relationship could be quite bad. There could be a lot of conflict, but we're going to have children because society pushes us, or because I need to be able to show my neighbors, or because my family is important, because all of these reasons that don't have any real connection to reality. Because the reality is, if your relationship is not good, your children will suffer a lot more. And also, you will have a relationship of very low power, which means you will make worse decisions. You probably end up in financial trouble and other things involved, So number 5 here on our list today is your selfishness is blindness. So sometimes you did things in your relationships, and maybe you are even doing things now that are kind of selfish. In fact, very selfish. But you just don't see it. The other person points it out sometimes, but you don't want to see this kind of behavior in you, even though it's something that you do, but you don't watch yourself doing it. So knowing that does mean opening your eyes to how you treat the other person. What's going on in your mind? What thoughts are you having when you dialogue with that person? What words are you choosing to use when you're with that person? All of those things matter, and all of those things accumulate into positive things or negative things, okay? And it does impede our relationship progress when we are completely blind to our selfishness. And remember, all of us are selfish in one point or another. Okay. Now, the last point is the strongest point in my opinion, and it's the more you decide you need something from the other person, the more you lose and the weaker your relationship is. So the more you are searching for something in your partner, the more you are dependent or develop these needs in your partner, the more your relationship is completely doomed. Okay? Completely doomed. Why is that? Or why does it happen? It happens because generally we are conditioned to think that a relationship will save us, that the other person will somehow save us or redeem us or support us. And that has to happen organically. But often we feel this impulse or this need to draw it out of the other person and say, hey, listen, can you support me more? I need this, I need that, I need this. Or, you're not looking at my needs, you're not looking at what I want. And what that does is it puts a lot of really unnecessary pressure on the other person when you actually need to learn how to deal with those feelings of neediness yourself. And it's not actually a bad thing to be needy. It's a bad thing to act on that neediness and say to the other person, oh, I need. Because you're putting unnecessary pressure on the relationship and it will have some terrible impacts. Remember, this is about powerful relationships. I'm talking about relationships that not only give you the love that you want and the physical relationship that you want, but also the financial part of it, and also the part where you can agree together on things, where you can have a mutual respect and benefit from each other's knowledge, So going through those points again, just to sum up now, going through those points again, and to finish my video today on powerful relationships. Maintain connections and create new ones. Listen without judgment. Don't judge what the other person's saying. They are going to offend you. They are going to make you feel small. Be ready for that. Choose another time to focus on those points that hurt you about the other person, what they've said or done that has affected you, not as a result of neediness, but as a result of their true behavior not really being positive or being quite negative. Number 4, strengthening yourself and your partner for your future family. Understanding that there's a long-term goal here. It's not just fun together, If it's a powerful relationship you want, you need a long-term goal. Otherwise, it's just a little bit of fun and you're playing, you're taking your chances to see how things go, right? A lot of people prefer that, depending on the time of life you are, depending how young or old you are. And number 5, selfishness is a blindness. So basically, there are places in your relationship where you're being selfish. Find out where they are and become all-knowing about your selfishness so you can control some of it and stop other parts of it completely. And in the last point, decide to be less needy. Okay, this is point number 6. Decide to be less needy and just recognize when you're being needy. Recognize when you're asking for validation from the other person, because no matter how much that person loves you, they cannot validate you. That makes no sense. Okay, you need to do that by yourself. It's a hard process. It doesn't feel comfortable. It feels like the other person's ignoring your needs and your feelings, but trust me, it's the part that gives your relationship a solid foundation for growth and progress. Thank you for listening to my video today. I hope you subscribe and like and comment. And if you need to, dislike and send me a bad comment. I really would love to hear your opinion about this subject. Please put your comments below. See you in the next video. Bye.